Deep within the mountains and forests of Samar, hidden somewhere beyond jungle roads swallowed by rain and fog, local legends speak of a mysterious city known as Biringan. A place said to appear only during certain moments, late nights, violent storms, dense mountain fog, or long stretches of silence deep within isolated forests where the outside world suddenly feels very far away. Unlike ordinary ghost stories, the legend of Biringan is often spoken about carefully, almost respectfully, by people who grew up hearing stories about it from older generations. Some believe the hidden city exists beside the ordinary world but remains invisible most of the time. Others claim it reveals itself only to certain people, especially travelers lost along remote mountain roads at night. And according to some local interpretations, Biringan is not a human city at all. It is said to belong to beings from Filipino folklore known as the Encanto. In many traditional stories across the Philippines, the Encanto are believed to be supernatural beings connected to forests, rivers, caves, mountains, and hidden realms existing beside the human world. But unlike monsters from horror stories, the Encanto are often described as beautiful, elegant, mysterious, and deeply tied to nature itself. Some stories portray them as unusually tall with pale skin, sharp features, long dark hair, and eyes reflecting strange light beneath darkness. Others describe them wearing elegant clothing unlike anything seen in ordinary villages, moving silently through forests and hidden places untouched by time. According to some legends, the Encanto can disguise themselves as ordinary humans when interacting with people, while others say their true appearance feels almost impossible to fully describe, beautiful in a way that feels unnatural and unsettling at the same time. Certain stories even claim the Encanto dislike noise, disrespect, arrogance, or outsiders disturbing places connected to them. And somewhere deep within Samar, many believe Biringan is one of those places. A hidden city where the Encanto live beyond ordinary human sight. A city hidden beneath fog, rain, silence, and forests so dense they almost feel alive themselves. According to stories passed through generations, Biringan is not described as an ancient ruined city hidden beneath the jungle. It is described as breathtakingly beautiful. Some travelers claimed the city appeared suddenly through dense fog during storms, glowing softly beneath heavy rain while the surrounding forests remained completely dark. Others described distant lights shining through mountain mist where no city officially exists on any map of Samar. And almost every version of the legend describes the city with the same strange emotional feeling, dreamlike beauty mixed with deep unease. Some accounts describe streets unusually wide and perfectly clean compared to nearby villages. Elegant buildings glowing softly beneath the rain with lights reflecting across wet roads. Towers and structures appearing strangely modern yet timeless at the same time, almost as if the city did not belong to any ordinary period of history. Certain stories describe windows illuminated with warm golden light while the streets themselves remained almost completely silent. No crowds. No traffic. No ordinary sounds of city life. Only rain, fog, distant music, and silence stretching between glowing buildings disappearing into the mist. One story tells of a driver traveling alone through Samar late at night during heavy rain when visibility suddenly became so poor that the road nearly disappeared beneath the storm. The jungle around him was completely dark except for rain striking the windshield and trees bending violently in the wind. Then through the fog ahead, lights appeared. At first he believed he had reached a normal town where he could stop and wait for the storm to weaken. But as he approached closer, the place immediately felt unfamiliar. The buildings looked too elegant. The streets too quiet. The atmosphere strangely calm despite the violent storm surrounding the mountains outside the city. According to some versions of the story, the driver noticed unusually tall figures standing silently beneath glowing streetlights watching him pass through the rain. Others say he heard distant music drifting softly through empty streets despite seeing almost nobody outside. The deeper he drove into the city, the more disconnected the place seemed from ordinary reality itself. Some stories claim the air inside Biringan felt strangely warm despite the cold rain outside. Others say time itself felt different there, as if the outside world no longer moved normally once inside the city. But perhaps the detail repeated most often is this: despite the fear and confusion surrounding the experience, many people described Biringan as overwhelmingly beautiful. Not frightening in the traditional sense. Beautiful in a way that felt impossible to fully explain. As the legend of Biringan spread across the Philippines, even stranger stories began surrounding the hidden city. Some accounts claim fishermen and sailors traveling near Samar during moonless nights saw an illuminated city glowing in the distance across dark waters before it vanished completely moments later. Others tell stories about people hearing unfamiliar music drifting through isolated forests before lights suddenly appeared between the trees ahead. Certain local legends claim there are hidden pathways or gateways scattered throughout Samar that occasionally lead travelers toward the city during specific moments when conditions are exactly right: heavy fog, violent rain, deep isolation, and late hours when the forests become unnaturally silent. One of the most famous modern stories claims expensive construction materials from overseas were allegedly shipped to an address in Biringan during the 1960s despite no official city existing under that name. Whether true or transformed through years of retelling, stories like these help deepen the mystery surrounding Biringan even further. And throughout every version of the legend, the emotional tone remains remarkably consistent. Biringan does not feel like a place of horror. It feels like a hidden world existing quietly beside ordinary life. Some locals believe the city reveals itself only when it wants to be seen. Others say the Encanto allow only certain people to enter before the roads disappear once again beneath rain and fog. A few stories even claim people who mocked the legend later experienced strange misfortune while traveling through Samar, reinforcing the belief that the hidden city should always be spoken about respectfully. Maybe that is why the mystery survives even in the modern world despite technology, maps, and endless explanations. Because deep down, people still want to believe there are hidden places the world has not fully uncovered yet. Places where ancient legends survive quietly beyond ordinary sight. Throughout history, cultures around the world created stories about hidden kingdoms and lost civilizations. Atlantis, Avalon, Shambhala. And in the Philippines, Biringan became one of those legends. A hidden city whispered about across generations not because people can prove it exists, but because the possibility itself still feels strangely real. And somewhere beyond the rain, fog, silence, and forests of Samar, some people still believe the hidden city of Biringan waits quietly for the next traveler to lose their way.